So I just published a video, and this video at the beginning completely tanked. I had the wrong title and I had the wrong thumbnail. And I thought that my title and my thumbnail were fantastic, but the moment I changed them, I went from 0.8 click-through rate to almost 3% click-through rate. So finally above benchmark. And what happened is that I had fed the wrong data into my YouTube clone. And in this video, I want to show you my thinking of why I wanted to clone YouTube, why I think having reasoning models like O3 or Claude Sonnet 3.7 is incredible and allows for such ability to program that even people that don't usually program end up creating software. But in general, how I think through de-risking marketing, how system thinking is really helping me work through these complex problems. But I would like to start, very simply, but why would I want to clone YouTube? Why do I need a local copy of YouTube? And why do I think it's not that you have to create a local copy of YouTube. I think you need this approach to the things that you do for work. So in my case, I need to do a lot of marketing. So I'm thinking through this thing for marketing, but I want you to think about the challenges that you have right now, maybe in your business or in your life, and how systemic thinking with AI can really help you there. But the most important thing is that I wanted to get this feeling that I have when I see my video appear on a page on YouTube. So let's go on YouTube for a second and let's have a look at what happens there. Oh, this is a preview. I shouldn't have shown you that. So let's go on YouTube. So when you go on YouTube, you see these videos. Oh, and there's one of my videos here was actually playing, but let's click this off. So when you are creating these thumbnails, you don't see them in this context. You just see them, you're inside Canva, and you're just editing them. When you're lucky enough to find one of your thumbnails here, it makes a whole different impression. It makes a completely different impression because it is around, the professionals, the real thing. And so what I wanted to start was simply to have something like this, where I could test out my thumbnails. So what I could have done is just Photoshop something. I could have Photoshopped this and there you go. Then, copy paste stuff. But then I thought, why don't I create a benchmark? Because when I ask a language model, help me brainstorm, help me think through a title and a thumbnail for a video, they're gonna take just a general recommendations. And here I have, this is actually a really neat trick that I want to share with you. Like, I have so many little accounts. Like, I have an account just for car content in German. I have an account that is basically just car content here. And then I have my generic account where I have all the videos that I watch in general. So this is actually not my channel. It's not Matteo Cassese Tube. Okay. And here you can see there's completely different YouTubes. Now this YouTube, oh, cool. Black Mirror Season 7. Haven't watched that yet. So as you can see, this is stimulating, one part, and here's, Da Vinci Resolve and Lewis Hamilton on a Ferrari and so on, but fitness content. And when I go here on the car channel here, I'll have Harry's Garage, I'll have, there you go, James May, Harry's Farm, I'll have Lake Break Show, Haggerty, and all of these characters, Throttle House, Davide Scironi with the Alpha 75, and so on. So it's a completely different game. It's a completely different style of thumbnails. Actually, here thumbnails really don't matter. It's like people are just following these personalities. So it's just the guy. It's the guy in a bad picture, on his own farm. So it's how do I think this through? And so I started looking at individual channels. And so I was looking like, I don't know, Simon Sinek. And now I'm going to destroy my algorithm. It was all about cars. But when you have a look at Simon's channel, then you have
some very deep conversations.
You have a few problems here with Simon's channel because there's all these podcasts. And so I realized that I needed to create subsets of these channels. I couldn't just ingest these channels. And so I went in an approach where I started selecting individual playlists and then creating a playlist of my competitors. And what I did is I went to O3 Mini. And I went to O3 Mini and basically I asked for a plan, like a plan to ingest around 1,000 titles and what would it do. And it guided me through the whole process. We used the YouTube Data API, then we used Python, and we started by creating a small scraper. And this scraper became a bigger and bigger scraper. And at some point, we got to having actually a scraper that worked. There was quite a few back and forth between me and O3. But in the end, we got to a system like this. Let me show you. So this is my video browser. And here, yes, I have ingested some, let's do it in dark mode. I have ingested some really high benchmark, like Veritasium, that have incredible numbers, and Pursuit of Wonder, School of Life, Simon Sinek, Jordan Peterson. There's a lot of incredible channels here, and I can maybe even just try to emulate them. It's not like they're benchmarks of the YouTube world. But I carefully selected what kind of benchmarks I had here. And so with the help of O3, I had a CSV. And then O3 created this browser. This is super neat because also it allows me, for instance, to filter only for recent videos, like 1 year, or it's, let's say that we don't want any video that's over 500, and so we can look at videos that have a great performance, 500,000 views or less, but they're not the top of the market. And this can really give me also an idea of how these channels are presenting, how these thumbnails are looking, what kind of titles they have, etc. But I didn't stop there. I also had the system OCR these thumbnails, and I then inputted this CSV file that it created with only by benchmarks, and I ingested into Claude. Now, this is the conversation that I had with Claude about this video. And so this is how I summarized this video before making it. And we had a little bit of back and forth. And the first thing I was asking, is this in brand for my channel? And it said, oh, totally, yes, it's actionable. Why should this? It's system thinking, it's AI related. This is fantastic. And then it started suggesting some titles like the AI YouTube system that changed my marketing. Hopefully the one that we came up with is better than this one. And with a little bit of back and forth, we got to the AI system that transformed my marketing decisions. And I gave it the idea, it cost me 40 euro a month. And so we got to this co-creation concept, which was like, super, like I said, co-creation is sort of looped on with co-creation. So I said, no, please, no, that's not the right positioning. And so the 40 euro AI system that powers all my marketing, and it became my marketing. And then we had a little bit of a debate here on the thumbnail, and I suggested that we do something more interesting, and it gave me a few ideas here. None of them were good. So Then I said, let's get creative, go from the beginning, and then it came up with iClone YouTube. So all on its own. And so this is how this system works, but I haven't shown you nothing about the behind the scenes. So let's click on this YouTube Mastermind. Now this YouTube Mastermind has my CSV, which is just 500 rows of content with the titles and everything. And so it can analyze that. And then it has this document with the principles. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, but now it's not aligned. Whoops. Can we see it now? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so what I did here is that I gave it a briefing about who I am and what I stand for. And then I shared a few first principles, like the click principle. If they don't click, they don't watch. That's what Colin and Samir say. And then they also quote the respect principles. You need to respect their time. And so the title and thumbnail needs to be reinforced by the content that the user sees in the first few seconds. Then I added a principle of mine, the story principle, like the title and the thumbnail need to tell a story. I told the system about my formats. And then since when I share a script with the language models, usually they spit out titles that are very much inspired by the script. I also had to underline the outside-in principle, like don't just put stuff that it's inside and do some insider jokes with the title. And then the stop the scroll principle to make sure that the titles and the thumbnails are punchy enough. Now, what I did here afterwards, this is all written by the machine, because basically I had all this data, okay, and for a question of, I think it's a question of trust, I gave it to Claude. I think Claude right now does a really great job still, like in this mix of copywriting and understanding, a slightly better job than GPT. And so I put this playlist into another project. Actually, I think it was a temporary project. Was it here? This was another title framework. But anyway, I just put it in a conversation, and we can actually do it now. And I asked it to derive principles from the CSV. So to analyze the mood, analyze the technical parts, like how long the titles are, what are the typical structure of the titles, etc. And what it came up with was first I did a mistake, because first I told it to analyze everything. And so it analyzed also videos that are older than 2 years. And I believe that a lot has changed in the last 2 years. And so when it analyzed stuff that was more than 2 years old, I think it really found some things that weren't really aligned with the current state of YouTube. And this is actually where I really had trouble, because I created this video and I thought my title and thumbnail was perfect, and then this video proceeded to tank on the launch and really had an abysmal click-through rate. And then I realized that even though my data set was correct, because I was giving it competitive channels, like just a sprinkle of Veritasium, but most of it was Gary Vee, Simon Sinek, and so comparable thinkers, at a larger scale than I am right now, but directionally correct. This data coming from 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago was actually weighing a lot in the decisions of the analysis. And so if we look at the analysis right now, there's a lot of nuance. And this is nuance that is not about, now you have to create titles following my principles. No, these are the principles of my market. People that click on videos that I believe are similar to the videos that I create have these titles, have these principles. And this is, it's very specific, and there's urgency, intrigue, conversation, philosophical, instructional. This is very specific instruction that now the language model has. And anyway, the language model always has the data behind it anyway. If you like me to share this with you, just send me an email. I'll send it out to you. You can find my email on my website, I'm sure. And while you're at it, if you're still watching right now, just subscribe to the channel. It just gives a good signal to YouTube. And so I have all of these fantastic and actionable, evidence-based, very specific to my industry insights. So with all of these insights, now I can have some terrific conversations. And actually what happened here is that I went through the whole channel and I revised every single title and every single thumbnail. I'm still running quite a few A/B tests, so you can see that there's quite a mix of different styles. But I redid all of the titles of the whole channel, and especially I was really interested in this last video. Stop trying to be confident, do this instead, because I was worried. This is the one that when I published it, and I'll show you the initial thumbnail, it really tanked. But remember, now we're in the benchmark, but at the beginning I told you that I did all of this because I wanted to see my videos in this context. And in this context, you don't yet see my videos, but if you navigate here to the preview, which I've opened here, there you go. This is the thumbnail and the title of that video, The Power of Unshakable Confidence and Dare to Fail, which was the test that I did at the beginning, light mode, dark mode. And this is fantastic because it's going to randomize it and place it anywhere. And at any given time, I can go into the admin, post the video title, The Theory of Everything, and then browse to a thumbnail. And let's say that we go to a thumbnail that we actually used in this case. Be vulnerable in blue. There you go. Update feature video. So if we go back here and we reload, ta-da, we get be vulnerable. And we can go in dark mode. We can refresh. It goes in another place. The value of this is enormous, I think. It's enormous to be able to see this together with other videos that my actual YouTube viewers might see at the same time. I'm under no illusion this is what they will exactly see, but this is so precious to me. And I'm doing this now for literally every video that I'm creating. And I think if you don't create something like this for yourself, and if there's other tools, I'm sure that vidIQ or these other tools might do something like this. But I mean, this is fantastic. And I mean, all I did was spend 40 euros, which are the subscription to ChatGPT Plus and the subscription to Claude. And Claude, the projects feature, I've used it, As you can see, I have projects and projects. And like, for instance, when it came to promote my latest video, I create this Claude project that it's actually just trained to help me promote this video and come up with content around this video. And it has as training data, we can look at it here. As training data, it has the content summary and then the transcript, the description, and then the full transcript of the video. So it's really easy to start thinking more strategically about AI. I think the most important lessons for me doing this work is, as always, good input creates a good output. So I was inputting too much information. The moment I narrowed down to 200 recent titles, 200 recent competitive videos, the performance really increase. In the past, honestly, I would never have hired a programmer to do this. So this is a project that would not have been accomplished. So this is an increase in productivity that would have not happened. This is the big deal about something like this, because I would have never hired would have never hired a programmer in the past just to do this. It's literally impossible. And so having this is such a benefit. It's so incredible. And it took like 2 or 3 hours because I was doing the keyboard DJ, but now there's features like Claude can do directly, and even GPT can be directly in your terminal, and they can actually do all of this for you. So this is incredible. The amount of de-risking that something like this does, that I can brainstorm ideas, I can get personalized suggestions. These are not the suggestions that everybody else will get. These are the suggestions that I will get because they're based on my data. And once you have a system like this, and then you can use these psychological frameworks like being able to see your video in context rather than just being on Canva and just having the thumbnail there. I think this is a massive change. And there's really no going back. And if you're approaching other tools, if you're approaching other problems, think about what would be the best tool for that job, feed it the best quality data, and then start working with it. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit longer, and it was a little bit rambly. Let me know in the comments if it was. As usual, watch another one of my videos. Like, watch one of the talks that I give. If you like this kind of video, my talks are more like compact and thought through. I'd love to hear from you, and my ideal method would be for you to shoot out an email, but feel free to like and comment below this video. And thank you for watching.